Upbeat, energetic music starts and fades into the background. Sound of a starting pistol, then a crowd cheering that fades. You know, when we look at super successful people, we're talking Olympic athletes, visionary CEOs, groundbreaking artists. What do you think is the one thing they all have in common? For the longest time, we were told it was talent. You're either born with it or you're not. You're a natural at math, a prodigy on the piano, a gifted athlete. And sure, talent is a piece of the puzzle. It gives you a head start. But what if I told you that the single greatest predictor of success isn't talent? What if it's something you can actually build? This is the core idea behind a game-changing book by psychologist Angela Duckworth called Grit. And trust me, this concept will change the way you look at your own potential. So what exactly is grit? Duckworth defines it with a simple, powerful equation. Grit equals passion plus perseverance. It's not about a fleeting interest or a short-term obsession. It's about having a deep, enduring passion for a long-term goal. And it's about having the stamina, the resilience, the sheer stubbornness to stick with that goal, day in and day out, through failure, through boredom, through adversity. Think of it like this. Talent is how quickly your skills improve when you invest effort. But effort is what makes that talent productive. Effort is what builds skill. And it's also effort that makes that skill produce results. So effort counts twice. Duckworth's research is fascinating. She went everywhere to study this. She went to the West Point Military Academy, one of the most grueling environments on the planet. She wanted to predict which cadets would survive the brutal initial training known as Beast Barracks. It wasn't the SAT scores. It wasn't the high school rank. It wasn't even the physical aptitude scores. The number one predictor? It was their score on her grit scale. It was the cadets who just wouldn't quit. Then she went to the National Spelling Bee. Again, she found that the kids who went further weren't necessarily the ones with the highest verbal IQ. It was the grittier kids, the ones who put in more hours of deliberate, focused practice day after day. They weren't just reading the dictionary. They were actively quizzing themselves, identifying their weaknesses, and working on them relentlessly. This brings us to a crucial point. How do you grow your grit? It's not just about gritting your teeth and pushing through. Duckworth breaks it down into 4 key psychological assets. First, you need interest. You have to find something that genuinely fascinates you. Passion isn't something you just discover one day like a bolt of lightning. It's something you develop, you explore, you get curious, you play around. You allow yourself to fall in love with a topic or a craft. Second, you need practice. And not just any practice. You need what's called deliberate practice. This means setting a specific stretch goal, focusing 100% on it, getting immediate feedback on what you did wrong, and then refining your approach over and over and over again. It's hard, it's frustrating, but it's how you get better. It's the difference between just shooting hoops and practicing a specific free throw routine for an hour straight. Third, you need a sense of purpose. This is the belief that your work matters, that it contributes to the well-being of others. Purpose is what gives your passion its staying power. When you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself, it becomes a lot easier to push through the tough times. The why behind your what. And finally, you need hope. This isn't just wishful thinking. Grit-fueled hope is the belief that your future is something you can control with your own efforts. It's the resilience to get back up after you fall down, to see setbacks not as a verdict on your ability, but as a learning opportunity. It's a growth mindset. So the next time you feel like you're not talented enough, or you hit a wall and want to give up, remember this. Your talent is just the starting line. The real race is a marathon, not a sprint. And in that marathon, the winner isn't always the fastest runner. It's the one with the grit to keep putting one foot in front of the other, especially when they feel like stopping. It's about falling in love with the process, practicing with purpose, and holding on to the hope that your effort, over time, will make all the difference. Because it will. Upbeat, inspiring music swells and fades out,